Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be continuing into part 4 of What If Kami taught Goku to control his tail. If you haven't seen part 3, there's a title card where you can go check it out and see what happened in the last part. But we'll be going into a training arc. What type of trainings will the Z Fighters do? Will they be prepared for the androids and Frieza? Also, I own a Discord for anyone who wants to join and talk more about Dragon Ball with me and other viewers. Maybe you have some of your own what if ideas, and maybe in the future, I could do them. Check in the link in the description down below. Without further ado, let's dive into part 4 of What If Kami taught Goku how to control his tail. Future Gohan goes up to Goku, almost in tears, seeing his father again after so long. He tells everything that happened in the future to Goku and Raditz, and immediately they are worried about the impending doom of Earth. They have 3 years to prepare, but feel like they are truly at a disadvantage. Kami kicks in saying that there is someone he knows that could help them, but only one person is able to go to him right now. He talks about training in the other world and training under someone named King Kai. Piccolo volunteers that it would make the best sense since he is the strongest excluding the Saiyans. Without another word, they leave so Piccolo could begin heading to train in the other world. The humans feel helpless as they didn't know what they could do, but then Yamcha gets the idea of going to Bulma and make themselves into androids. Krillin isn't against the idea as they need to do whatever they can to save the planet, but Tien is against it, as he does not want to cheat to gain power. But he does have an idea of what he could train for. With the Saiyans, their plan will be for future Gohan to begin training them as he is the strongest out of the 4, but also continue with the time chamber and gravity training. Raditz does bring up the legend of the Super Saiyan, and that if they can achieve the form, then maybe they have a good chance, but still, he isn't sure if the stories are true. Now before we go through the story, to make it less confusing, we'll be going through each group separately on what they do in the 3 years, so it's not a constant hopping between 5 different groups. Yes, 5. Starting off with the Saiyans. Now before we get into their training, we must discuss the starting power levels of the 4 Saiyans. Now with Future Gohan, it would be difficult to pinpoint. He is nowhere near canon Future Gohan, but he has been fighting and training with a Future Raditz for 20 years. But he did also start out much weaker before the whole android attack, and he is less experienced than his canon counterpart. To be fair, let's give him a power level of 750,000. After Goku and Raditz trained for 1 year, they would reach the power level of 120,000. and Gohan being much behind at 10,000. With the help of Bulma bringing enough food for the 4 of them, they are all good in the time chamber. With the 2-year time limit still being a thing, Goku and Raditz want to train as much as possible. Goku and Raditz would spar against future Gohan to try to catch up to him in strength, with Gohan also trying but was way out of his league and somewhat felt left out. When it came to gravity training, future Gohan was a pro, being able to handle up to 200 times Earth's normal gravity, and the others had to catch up, especially Gohan since he did not have any experience with this type of training. Future Gohan would try to bond with his younger self, acting like an older brother and giving him the best advice he could. Future Gohan did want to spend as much time as he can with his father, as he did miss him a lot in his own timeline. The whole year they all spent in the time chamber was beneficial to all of them, but less for Gohan as it was mainly the 3 adults training. Gohan grew jealous of his future self and had a bit of a hatred towards him for replacing him, as that is what it feels like for him. Here are the power levels of everyone after 1 year. Future Gohan at 1 million, Goku at 500,000, Raditz at 450,000, and Gohan at 120,000. With Goku and Raditz already in there for 2 years, they had to leave Gohan and Future Gohan to continue training. Future Gohan liked to train his younger self and let him grow as strong as possible. Unlike Future Gohan, the present Gohan hates to have to spend more time with him. They begin their training, but Gohan has some pent-up anger built up inside of him. One day, while they are doing a sparring match, Future Gohan being much stronger than Gohan, he showed no effort in fighting him, which made Gohan even more angry. With all this anger building up, it finally breaks as he yells out in anger, and he rushes his future self. From the future Gohan's perspective, he saw his younger self as his hair flares yellow, and his power increases exponentially. Future Gohan gets punched and is sent flying, as he gets up and prepares to fight, but he looks over to see Gohan pass out on the floor. Future Gohan lets Gohan rest while he sits and meditates. He thinks to himself, wondering if that was the Super Saiyan that his uncle had told him about. Future Raditz did talk about the legend here and there and did say something about a golden warrior. Future Gohan would train and meditate, trying to use all his anger inside of him to try to tap into that power. He thinks about how he lost everyone and cannot go back, that the people in his timeline aren't his family or friends, and how he failed to save them and was given a second chance and does not want to fail. All these thoughts in his head finally burst out into an emotion as he yells out, just like his younger self, and a yellow aura surrounds his body. Gohan wakes up to see his future self in a golden aura and asks him what had happened, as future Gohan explained that they will be the ones to save everyone. After this event, Gohan and future Gohan had a talk and really grew closer after learning how Gohan felt about his future self and the pressure of the world being in danger. and what his future self must have gone through. They made a closer bond and trained hard together. Future Gohan had no problem teaching his younger self to become a Super Saiyan since, it's himself. The year came to a close quickly, and once they headed out of the time chamber, they did surprise both Goku and Raditz in the Super Saiyan form. They were no doubt shocked, not just of the power, but also that the legend was true. They would spend the year doing more gravity training at Capsule Corp, and with Goku and Raditz trying to achieve this new form. With Piccolo, he spent his time going on Snake Way and heading towards King Kai, which didn't take him too long, but once he did arrive, he felt the difference in gravity on the planet. He is met with King Kai and is asked to train under him, as he does still need to make him laugh, but I think Piccolo could do so. And so then, his training would begin. He would go through the same training as Goku did in canon, with having to catch bubbles and hit Gregory, but sadly, he would not learn the Spirit Bomb since he isn't exactly fully pure of heart. He did however learn about the Kaioken, and with his Namekian body, he could regrow any limb, and the limitation of Kaioken for Piccolo could be limitless. He would spend around a year on King Kai's planet, and his power level would rocket from 16,000 to 100,000, and being able to go to Kaioken times 20 in short bursts. His growth started to flatline as he learned everything that he could from King Kai, and King Kai gave the idea of exploring the other world, of exploring and learning of any other strong dead fighters, and maybe he could even learn some cool techniques. And with Piccolo having 2 more years, he took that offer and explored the other world. On the other side, during the first year, Kami pondered on his lookout. He hated how he couldn't do much for the fighters and felt helpless as the god of the planet, and he decided to gather the Dragon Balls and wish for his youth back. He began training, with joining the Saiyans, and even though he was way underpowered, he did not let that stop him, spending the first of the 3 years to grow as much as he can to lend a hand in protecting the Earth, and even evolving the Dragon Balls, making them stronger. With Krillin and Yamcha, after having Bulma make them into androids, they gained the ability of the infinite stamina the androids would have. It did take a few months, but with Tien, he was at Kami's house practicing the evil containment wave, trying to perfect the technique. The few months while Tien was waiting for the others, he didn't grow so strong, but he ended up perfecting the containment wave, and was met with his new android friends. They began training together, sparring for the first year. Krillin and Yamcha did grow a lot stronger than Tien since they didn't need to rest, so their growth skyrocketed. Tien still grew stronger, just not as much as the others. In the second year, all the Saiyans obtained the Super Saiyan form, and their power levels were now in the millions, with Future Gohan being the strongest at 3 million in his base. The rest of the 2 years they spent would just consist of gravity training and also going through the different grades of Super Saiyan. And at the end of the third year, both Goku and Future Gohan would have the perfected Super Saiyan state. Piccolo spent another year in the other world, and he met a really strong fighter that he ended up training under named Piccolo. He was the strongest opponent Piccolo ever faced, and the strongest one he could have found in the other world. He did gain some massive boost, going from 100,000 all the way to 500,000. He did also learn about the fusion dance, and even though he probably would never use it, it would be a good technique to teach the Saiyans and the Earthlings. In the third year, he decided to head back and meet up with the Earthlings, and to try to train them up and teach them the new techniques he had learned. The Earthlings continued with their training in the second year, and ended up joining with the younger Kami, after they're shocked of him wishing his youth back. After the end of the second year, he would be at the power levels. Yamcha and Krillin at 100,000, Tien at 80,000, and Kami being around 50,000. Piccolo will return from the other world, and they are all stunned with his immense power, and Piccolo is shocked to see Kami wishing for his youth back. He would continue with training all of them and teaching them the Kaioken and the fusion dance, which only Yamcha and Tien could probably do. They would go on into the time chamber to grow stronger, and really don't need any extra food, but just a lot of water for that the Namekians and now the newly androids only need water to survive. With the Kaioken, it works well for everyone besides Tien, as his body is still normal compared to everyone else's. The day finally comes where the war would begin, but before, let's go over the power levels. Future Gohan at 4 million, Goku at 3 million, Raditz at 2.5 million, Gohan at 1.5 million, Piccolo at 800,000, Yamcha and Krillin at 750,000, Kami at 500,000, and Tien at 400,000. They all meet up in the lookout, prepare for the attack, as Kami sensed chaos in 5 different cities, to the dismay of Future Gohan, as there were only 2 in his timeline. And not soon after, 2 major power levels are sensed by Kami. Coming from space was Frieza, but not just them, but also Frieza's father, King Cold. The fighters split up, with the Saiyans heading towards Frieza and his army, and the humans going together to at least one of the cities. Piccolo and Kami will head to a different city, but Kami does say that if things seem bad, that they might have to fuse to become one again. And that's where we're gonna leave it off for now. Tell me how you think about part 4 and how I did with this training arc before the big event. Will all the training be enough for the foes they will face? Could they save the Earth from destruction? What could have happened differently? Leave your thoughts down in the comments below. I would love to hear them. If y'all are interested and enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell to be alerted whenever I post another part. Thank y'all so much for watching, and I will see y'all in the next part. See ya!